which coach needs to avoid a first round loss the most?
For me, it's James Franklin and Penn State because we know all of the stakes on the big one. We know he lost to Ohio State this year. We know he lost to Oregon in the Big Ten championships. And now he's got a home game against SMU, a team that plays in warm Dallas, coming to cold Beaver Stadium. I think this has the potential to be a very ugly scene if Penn State loses, especially because we've seen James Franklin arguing with fans and students as he's walking off the field after big losses. There's a chance that's the lasting image we have of James Franklin at Penn State. It would not be inappropriate for Penn State to fire James Franklin if he cannot win the big one again, especially in a 12-team playoff with a home game.
Yeah, that's a good one. James Franklin has that bad history of losing big games, but I think it's got to be Ryan Day, unquestionably. Ryan Day is kind of killing Buckeyes fans right now with his inability to beat Michigan and at any point in the 2020s. And if Tennessee ends up beating Ohio State in the first round, the Buckeye season is going to end with a loss to Michigan and a first-round playoff loss. And I just don't think fans are going to be happy about that. They're going to demand Day's job more than they have already. This is not tolerable by Buckeyes fans. And Ryan Day absolutely has to coach this team to a win. And not just that, a playoff run. Can Tennessee stop or slow down Ohio State's passing attack?
Yeah, it depends, I think, on how much pass rush Tennessee gets, right? And Tennessee's loss earlier this season to Georgia, they weren't generating much pressure on Carson Beck, and Carson Beck, the Georgia quarterback, picked them apart that night in Athens. And Tennessee's defense, for as good as it is, its pass rush is sort of middle of the pack in the SEC. Tennessee's top strength on defense is its run defense. It does have some good pass rushers, but as I said, in that Georgia game, Georgia's offensive line held firm, and when Carson Beck had time to operate, he was consistently finding receivers. So that is going to be so key for Ohio State is giving Will Howard time to operate in the pocket. If he does, I think that gives Ohio State's offense a chance for some success against even a very good Tennessee defense. And it may not need to win a high-scoring game. When we talk about offensive success for Ohio State, that might be 20, 24 points. That could be enough with the strength of Ohio State's defense, combined with the fact that Tennessee's strength is its defense this year and not its offense.
Tennessee versus Ohio State in Columbus. I know Ryan Day, it seems like at least he's one of the first that kind of comes to my mind as coaches kind of playing for their job or coaching for their job right now. Do you think Tennessee can beat Ohio State in Columbus?
Certainly there's going to be a lot of pressure on Ryan Day coming out of that Michigan debacle and all the conversation for several weeks about his job status, although I think that's probably a little bit overblown at this point. It seemed like Ohio State does not want to make a move on him, but they've got a tough opponent here in Tennessee. Tennessee is ranked in the top 10 in both offense and defense nationally. And they don't necessarily get that kind of credit for their offense because at times it has looked ugly. And, their young quarterback, Nico Iamaleava, has struggled at times. But, I think they're a really solid, balanced team. The question is just, playing on the road at night, up north in that cold environment. It's going to be interesting to see how they react to it. Again, first year of the playoff, I think these home games are going to be so crucial. So I would give the edge to Ohio State just slightly, but I think this is a big-time heavyweight matchup between two really talented teams, and I won't be shocked if the Vols go on the road and get a win.
The college football playoff is here, and we're going to make some straight-up picks for the first round. Number 10, Indiana, at number 7, Notre Dame.
I just think Notre Dame is a bit too physical in the trenches. We saw Indiana really struggle in their game against Ohio State when they were overmatched talent-wise. I've got Notre Dame winning here at home.
Yeah, I've got to go Notre Dame as well, as much as I want Indiana's magical season to continue. Let's go over to number 11, SMU, at number 6, Penn State.
I think between Drew Aller, the running backs, Nick Singleton, Katron Allen, I think they're going to be too much. I think they're going to run over this SMU team, and especially in the frigid Happy Valley conditions, I've got Penn State winning this game.
Yeah, I do too. And that's something that I think is definitely going to be a factor. Not only is Beaver Stadium already one of the most intimidating atmospheres, but for a home playoff game, that environment is going to be turned up to the max. Over to number 12, Clemson. At number 5, Texas.
I have a hard time believing Clemson's going to be able to put up a lot of points. I think Texas wins this game probably fairly easily.
Especially when you factor in that this game is in Austin, I just don't think Clemson has it. Texas all the way here. Number 9, Tennessee. At number 8, Ohio State.
I just think Ohio State is the more complete team right now. Playing at home, I would give them the edge.
I don't have a lot of faith in Tennessee, but somehow I have less faith in Ryan Day and Chip Kelly and their ability to get something going on offense. I think the Vols pull out a road win. Notre Dame, Indiana in the first round of the college football playoff. What is your prediction for how this game ends?
Yeah, I mean, I can see a reality where Indiana is explosive enough to win this game because, I don't think Notre Dame can keep up if they fall behind. At the same time, though, this Notre Dame team is way more talented. They're more physical. I have a hard time believing Indiana is going to be able to slow them down and win at the line of scrimmage. So I've got Notre Dame pulling away to win something around like 31-17.
Game prediction for SMU, Penn State in the first round of the playoffs. Who you got?
It's been a good run for SMU. It's been a good run for the Ponies. I think they'll put up a good fight, but Penn State has home field advantage and just top to bottom has the more talented roster. I'm going to take the Nittany Lions 32-24.
Clemson versus Texas. What's your game prediction? Who wins this one?
Yeah, I think a lot of people are going for Texas, and I'd have to agree with that. I think I'm going to go with Texas as well. For me, it's the Texas defense. Like, can Clemson really put up points? Cade Klubnik, he was kind of quiet this year. There was a lot of hype on him, especially when he took over at that quarterback spot a couple of seasons ago. But yeah, I don't know. Something about the Texas defense for me, I think is going to put Texas over the edge. At least when it comes to this game, I think Texas will take the edge. Again, I have 21-7 on this one.
Tennessee, Ohio State. Who wins?
I think Ohio State wins in a close one. You look at the first round playoff matchups, and this one to me projects as the most evenly matched game. Tennessee much better at home than they are on the road, so I think that's advantage Ohio State. Ultimately, I think Ohio State wins a close one, maybe something in the say 24-17 vicinity. I don't think this will be a super high scoring game. Again, I think it will reflect the strength of both teams, which are the defenses and the ground games for both teams.